What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Grim Fandango Remastered. This is a classic adventure game from the mind of Tim Schafer, where you're playing as Manny, a Grim Reaper and travel agent of the underworld. When you die, you get a visit from Manny, who makes sure you get the afterlife you deserve. While Manny is hard at work getting lost souls onto the train to Paradiso, he's also dealing with office politics, angry bosses, and his own search for answers in the land of the dead. At its very core, this is a puzzle game. You wander through small levels looking for clues and items to use on other items. Trial and error are really your means to solving most situations. This game can be very difficult, but that's one thing I actually like about it. A lot of times you'll have almost no clue at all what to do, and you're just forced to wander around and ask questions, talking to people over and over and over again, trying to search every little back alley and side path until you find out the next clue. Sometimes you'll have a puzzle 95% solved, but you're just not quite sure what to do. Like in this situation here, I had to get those baby birds on the bottom left, but I just couldn't figure out for the death of me how to get there. Coming close triggered a small flock of skeleton burns who'd peck my wonderful bony face. I climbed down off the building, stole a piece of bread from the festival, and tried to feed it to the birds, but they were still extremely angry. I climbed down off the building and I found this guy who would make me a cat balloon animal, so I tried to scare him, but they're zombie birds, so they have no fear of my rubber kitty. Finally, with much fidgeting, I found out that what I was supposed to do was put the cat in the food bowl and then break the bread on top of it, so when they swooped down to try and eat the bread, they would pop it and thus get scared away. Stuff like this was very hard, but I really liked it for that. If this game were just the puzzles, it would get very dull, but on top of it, you have an incredible story with just hilarious writing. Every single character has a witty line. Literally everybody. The skeleton on the street making balloon animals, or the demon who yearns for nothing more than to drive a cool car. Everyone in this world is someone you want to talk to over and over again. The story in this game takes place over years, showing us the flaws and features of the land of the dead. Something is amiss, and we quickly learn that not all good people are getting into heaven. Now Manny must ask the hard questions and find out what's rotten in limbo. The tale unfolds in a very 50s murder mystery novel style. Lots of cool one-liners, hot dames, sneaky bad guys wearing bad mustaches. The storytelling is just so freaking strong, you can't help but just play the next part. To say this is a remaster feels like a bit of a lie in my opinion. When you toggle back and forth between the original graphics and the remastered graphics, almost nothing changes. The character models are a little bit spruced up and some of the lighting in areas is crisper, but overall, it's the exact same original visuals. I mean, they even kept the 4:3 aspect ratio. They just slapped some sidebars on to keep it from being dead edges. There's an option you can turn on to stretch the image to be native 6:9, but honestly it looks terrible and you should not do that. The coolest added feature in this spruced up re-release is director commentary. In almost every room you can find a trigger point that when activated will cue a fascinating audio clip with the game makers. They talk about why they chose certain camera angles, who wrote this character, and who programmed a certain area. It's really fascinating to hear an artist talk about their art, and it actually added a lot to a lot of scenes for me. They never really give away any puzzles or clues, and instead just talk about funny little stuff that adds to the overall experience.
How weird it was that he gets locked into a room by his boss, which I don't think is legal. But
oh,
then again,
back in the 30s, you could do all kinds of stuff. Rubber hoses for cops and so on. I mean, it was just 50 years after the Old West.
Well, that's weird to think about.
So I highly advise you to turn this on in the options menu when you first start the game. The only two small drawbacks I had in this game were when I was running around a lot of times, I was having trouble with the controls. Not just toggling through my inventory, but just running around the maps itself. Since the camera angle changes so dramatically and it uses a 3D control style, there are times where I'm running up when all of a sudden up becomes down. So I'll run back and forth on a map a few times where it's literally just clicking back and forth since I'm holding the same direction. You have to really get used to learning each camera angle in each room. A lot of times you're gonna run in circles on accident. And the other small drawback is they didn't bother coding in any sort of checkpoint system at all. I understand that they were going for a certain style, that they wanted to make it where you had to save, and if you forgot to save something, then it was you that fucked up. But at least a big checkpoint system, make it where whenever I beat a humongous puzzle, it would auto-save. It was kind of annoying to me that every time I got done doing something, I had to go in and save, especially when I was live streaming it, because whenever I went to the save menu, it would take down the video for a second when I was toggling through the options. Overall, this adventure was so much fun, so let's head over to the ratings board. I am giving Grim Fandango Remastered a 9 out of 10. Great writing, clever scenes, tough puzzles, and a unique story make this tale truly one of a kind, but unfortunately, it may be a game style that's forever stuck in a land of the dead. This has been DreamcastGuy. Feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I also want to thank all the new subscribers. A lot of new people have been coming to the channel lately, and I want to thank you guys for all the cool comments, interesting things, and for sharing these videos. But as always, guys, keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.